Hello friends, this is Carrie and welcome back to I Like Reddit channel. I hope you all are staying safe and healthy and had a fantastic New Year's. Friends, I thought we could say hello to the first week of the new year with more stories of irritating HOAs and the poor unfortunate folks that have to live in them. We have a smattering of stories from JustNoHOA and FHOAs. Let's begin. Our first story is by Dragon Rider 1964. HOA Holiday Shenanigans, a two-part story that is a follow-up to Gotta Love HOAs. This will be a two-update combination. First will be what happened on Christmas Eve, and then the shenanigans will be what just happened on New Year's Eve. Permission is hereby given to anyone who wants to read it. The HOA that surrounds my family farmland has a low decorative wall along the public roadway. For Christmas, they put up white Christmas lights that do not blink. My wife purchased some high-tech Christmas lights and put them up on our wall, only along the roadway, and they were non-blinking white lights. The HOA seemed happy, and we heard nothing from them about our lights. Until Christmas Eve. Just as the sun went down, my wife turned on the Christmas lights and adjusted the remote controller, and even to my surprise, the lights switched from simple non-blinking white lights and became multicolored. Reds, blues, greens, yellows, and whites, and they were blinking. Oh, how this set the HOA off. By 9 p.m., the HOA president started calling and demanding we take down the lights and put the white lights back up, to keep the image of the road the same, he claimed. He seemed to forget that we are not members of the HOA. These calls continued every hour or half hour until midnight when I simply turned off my phone. My wife put them back to white, non-blinking lights on the morning of Christmas Day, but she is enjoying switching the colored blinking lights on for an hour each night. How big the fine will be for this is not yet known, but thankfully we are still not part of the HOA, and we are not beholden to the CC&Rs or their fines. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and I hope that everybody has a safe and prosperous 2021. Now onto what happened on New Year's Eve. Hopefully everyone has some popcorn made. After everything that my family has been through with this neighboring HOA since 2016, my wife, and the love of my life, has taken it upon herself to antagonize the HOA's board of directors. For a quick recap, my family farm is 1,850 acres along a dogleg road. The HOA surrounds my family farm, and the farm is under no obligation to join or conform to the HOA. Now the HOA has a 4-foot-high wall along the public roadway, and these walls are painted white and have been decorated with non-flashing white lights and some no-frills garlands. The HOA completely surrounds our farm. They are to our right and to our left behind us. All the land surrounding the road is HOA controlled. My wife has had a lot of time due to the virus, so she studied up and ordered a large amount of high-tech Christmas lights, which she used to decorate the 6-foot-high wall on our property, only along the roadway. And she had them on non-blinking white lights. Until on Christmas Eve, the lights that she installed started blinking and changing colors. They would blink fast and then slow. The HOA president was not amused, and he began calling my phone multiple times per hour, from 9 p.m. until midnight, when I turned off my phone. Christmas morning, my wife returned the lights back to non-blinking white lights only. Except for about an hour each night, the lights would magically change colors and flash. I was quietly informed by several residents of the HOA that a meeting was being held at the president's house to deal with our lights. New Year's Eve. My wife sent the kids to visit friends and she went to work. I did not know how many lights she had. Prior to New Year's, she had lights strung on our wall facing towards the house. Now she moved everything over the wall and onto the street side. Further, she added lights onto the decorative gate that we had across our driveway. There were some boxes brought out and placed behind the wall. Oh, and she relocated several pieces of farm equipment right behind the wall, along with pallets, trailers, and a pickup truck. What was she doing, I wondered. Darkness set in. The HOA's white lights came on, and my wife keeps ours off. 8 p.m. rolls around, and neighbors are walking along the road and across the road from the HOA's wall. They're just waiting to see if something will happen. 9 p.m. I get a call from the HOA president asking what we are doing, and he tells me how unsafe it is for so many people to gather along the road. At 10 p.m. my wife still has not turned on the lights. However, at 10:15 p.m. she goes out with an ATV and stops along the wall in a couple of places, and at about 10:30 the non-blinking white lights come on. Until 11:30 p.m. and the lights slowly fade to black, taking about 5 minutes. As the countdown to midnight starts, the lights start flashing on and off. At midnight, a massive light show takes place. Now there were lights that seemed to run the entire length of the wall. Picture a wave at a sporting event, but along the road, a most spectacular show took place. She had been working for days to get this done. Yes, there were some fireworks, but not as many as most would like. Now at the time, I was not aware that my wife had everything linked to the Christmas and New Year's music which could be heard if you tuned into a particular FM station. And my wife even added some messages praising the HOA and saying how none of the show would be possible without the HOA's support. There was so much more. The gate to our driveway opened and closed by itself. Lights came on, flashing away on the gate and archway overhead. Several trees were decorated with lights. Inflatables started popping up. Santa, his sleigh and reindeer, Frosty the Snowman and elves everywhere. Father Time appeared near the driveway, and an 8-foot-high Grinch inflatable facing the HOA's main entrance. And my phone started ringing. I wonder who that could be. Mr. HOA President said that he was calling the police to report us. Yes, he did. Now, my wife is smart. She researched what she could do and what she could not do, and stayed within the law. She had informed law enforcement of her plan and expected to get a call from the HOA. And for safety, a deputy had driven past our home several times during the evening. At about 1:45 a.m., every light she had put up started flashing in so many colors. Faster and faster, these lights flashed until at 2 a.m., everything went dark, and after 5 minutes, non-blinking white lights slowly faded back on, and they stayed on until sunrise. I found out that the final message in the FM site was my wife's voice telling everyone to listen and thank the HOA for the wonderful show. I love my wife and her craziness. I so wish I thought of doing this. I will update you on the reactions of the HOA, but due to our last legal dealings, the HOA is ordered to have no contact with us. My real estate attorney will likely laugh herself silly over this. We will see. Here's hoping that everyone has a safe and prosperous 2021. If you're enjoying the content so far, please put a heart emoji in the comment section down below. Our next story is posted by My HOA Sucks Throwaway. HOA messed up big time, ADA. Okay, so where to begin? I've been in a battle with my HOA for months now. This whole mess started when I suspected a board member of receiving kickbacks on jobs. I and a few other homeowners set up a sting operation. A family friend who is a licensed contractor put a bid in for work. The president invited him over, and during the conversation, the president bluntly said, any job approvals require 10% overbid deposit if you want the work. He did record it on his phone, but because we're in a two-party consent state, it couldn't be used. We had filed numerous requests for financial records and have been stonewalled for months. The owners of the property management company are also in on the scam. I and 5 other concerned homeowners have been stonewalled time and time again. We finally banded together and got a lawyer, and of course COVID hit and the courts are all closed. So about 3 weeks ago, I had a major operation affecting my ability to walk. I am wheelchair bound temporarily. I submitted a request form for accommodations of a ramp that I would pay for. These are the individual houses that would have zero encumberment on the other homeowners in the community. HOA, of course, denied the request. Reason? Homeowner has not proven that they are disabled. A note from the surgeon was sent over. Denied. Reason? HOA called the doctor's office. Doctor does not exist, and the homeowner is making false claims. You can't make this stuff up, right? So I say to hell with it, and I put up a ramp. The board members decide to brick pavers in front of the ramp with caution tape on it and a note saying it's unapproved. The lawyer reaches out to the board one last time before filing and accidentally got a reply meant for the other board members. I'm going to get him. He's lying. He's just trying to be a pain in the butt. Let's just keep denying the requests. We're the board. We set the rules, and what we say goes. A judge grants an injunction and is trespassed from my property. I sort of forgot about the whole thing. The board has been leaving me alone until today, when 2 board members came banging on my door telling me that they were going to kill me. Thanks, Ring, for recording it all, and yelling about how they were going to permanently make me crippled. So, it turns out the community's insurance company refused to pay the legal bills. They also not indemnified because what they did was done with malice. The 2 board members are on the hook for almost $9,000 in legal fees and an additional $35,000 in punitive damages. Apologies for formatting and the rant, I'm still a bit loopy from the meds. To hell with these sorry losers and these nosy busybodies. Our next story is posted by RichFun55. All I asked was proof of insurance before allowing work to be done on my property. So I am in a long-running dispute with my HOA because I refused to follow the CC&Rs and the bylaws. Anyway, they decided to take down some trees on the HOA property behind the houses on our street and wanted access to the trees by coming across my property. I refused until they had proof of insurance from a contractor. The HOA said that the contractor gave them a certificate of insurance, a COI, and they provided one from the HOA to me. The problem is the tree removal company provided a COI that stated information only in the certificate holder's box, which means that they may have insurance, but if something happens on someone else's property, they cannot be held liable. Neat trick, and the HOA idiots fell for it. So I refused work until they had a valid COI naming me as a certificate holder from the tree company. So the HOA president comes onto my driveway and starts to argue with me, and I told him to leave my property. He refused, stating that he has a right to be on my property anytime he wants to. I told him to leave again, and that he is trespassing, and he again refused and said I should call the state police. He finally leaves, and I called the state police. They went to see him to let him know that the CC&Rs and bylaws do not supersede state and federal protections for private property protection. They told him that if I called again, that he would be arrested and taken to jail. What an idiot. Our final story is posted by Moat of Lobros, being considered a unauthorized boarder by the HOA, a cross post from r/FHOAs. Well, over a decade ago, I was forced to move back in with my dad. I was only planning on staying for a few months until I was financially stable enough to get my own place once again. But my dad insisted I stay rent-free while I got my car paid off and some serious dental work done. This lasted for 4 years. My dad owns a really nice place in a subdivision that had an HOA. For about 2 of those 4 years, things were fine, until a woman who we shall aptly call Karen became the head of the HOA. Karen and I had many unfortunate run-ins in the past. She would constantly ask my dad how long until I'd move out. Then she would always report me and my dad to the HOA for the silliest things, which the HOA would usually ignore, or, at best, dismiss after getting our side of the story. But now she was in control, and she took direct action. The first thing that was done was declared me an unauthorized boarder, after instituting a bylaw that states that all adults 21 years and older in a household have to be registered with the HOA as permanent residents with a minimum of 5 years they have to stay without penalizing the homeowner. My dad refused to do any such thing because I would eventually be getting my own place. But Karen insisted, even serving him 2 years of backdated penalties for having me there. My dad ended up having to spend money to get a lawyer to send a cease and desist letter because I was legally grandfathered in since I was there before the bylaw. Of course, the fines were begrudgingly dropped, but afterwards she tried to nickel and dime my dad with constant little things like being out all hours of the night, I worked late, or being dressed inappropriately in public. I wear jeans and band t-shirts mostly. The other stupid crap, that most of which weren't in the bylaws. She even took to using a selfie stick over the fence to see if there was anything in the backyard violating the rules. I since moved out of there a year or so later, and Karen was voted out of the HOA for irritating way too many people. That's all the stories I have for today. Links to the original Reddit posts will be in the description box below. Please stop on by Reddit to show the OP some love and an upvote. If you enjoy my videos, please comment, like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell notification to let you know when I upload new videos. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day.